Thank you all very much for joining us for United for Compassion. Give yourselves a hand. Give yourselves a hand. You know, in the midst of everything that's going on right now, well, by the way, let me introduce myself before I get started here. So my name is Jon Osaki. I'm the Executive Director of the Japanese Community Youth Council. Our young people are right here, Japantown youth leaders. And I'd like my co-MC to come up here and introduce yourself as well.
I am Satsuki. I was born at the Tule Lake concentration camp, and I am a member of the Tule Lake Committee.
Yay! Thank you, Satsuki. So, in the midst of everything that's been going on the last couple of weeks, I was just talking to somebody in the crowd here today, and she commented to me how good it feels to be here. How good it feels to see people coming together to stand in support of each other. I want to thank you all so much for being here tonight as we show our support for all communities, all those who are being targeted with hate, all those who are being singled out, all those who are being told that they are not American. That is what we are here to stand in support of. And it is here in Japantown because this community knows a little bit about what it means for our country to lose its way. Our parents, our grandparents were once the #1 target for hate and persecution in this country. And we are here today to send a loud and strong message that that cannot happen again. We will not allow groups to be targeted, groups to be told that they should leave our country, that they should register. Our story in this community is not a precedent for anything. The only thing that it is, it's a story of racism and it's a story of failed leadership. And we are here today to make sure that we send a long, strong message that we should not repeat the mistakes of the past. We cannot afford for our leaders to fail when we know those are mistakes, when we know the mistakes of the past. Okay, we are going to start off here today by reading a statement from the Bay Area Day of Remembrance Consortium. I'm going to read the first portion and Satsuki is going to read the second. The Day of Remembrance Consortium and the San Francisco Japantown community stands in solidarity with those now being targeted nationwide by the rhetoric of hatred. Since and before the election, there has been a rise of incidences of hate throughout the country, which appear to be emboldened by the misogynistic, xenophobic, and racist rhetoric of the Trump campaign. The Southern Poverty Law Center to date has documented more than 700 incidences since the election alone, including physical assaults and racist vandalism. As a community that knows all too well the effects of wartime hysteria, racial prejudice, and the failure of political leadership, the Japanese American community responds using our own experience as a stark reminder of the effects of the deprivation of civil liberties.
Years ago, the FBI began arresting Buddhist priests, Japanese language school teachers, and community leaders. Within 2 months of the U.S. government began the mass incarceration of all Japanese Americans from the West Coast. This human tragedy and violation of constitutional rights is not what a Trump advisor stated as a precedent for present-day Muslim registry. It was a grave injustice and grave mistake for which the nation apologized. In a show of unity with targeted communities including Muslims, Arab Americans, immigrants, Latinos, African Americans, Asian Americans, LGBTQ persons, Native Americans, and women, the Japanese American and Japantown community is taking a clear and unequivocal stand against hate while addressing the fear that has shrouded our communities. We stand in solidarity for equality, equity, and freedom. We stand for the human spirit. We stand here united for compassion.